Mr. Di Maio's five-star movement M5S repeatedly expressed frustration towards the European Union, calling for reforms in exchange for Italy's large contributions to the EU budget. An M5S victory could be a source of shock and friction for the European Union, depending on how big of a victory it is. The young party leader said, "Every year we send a two-digit million sum to the EU and always get less back. I don't think Italy has to pay more to Europe. I think the EU have to give more to Italy. We want to shape the EU. We want more flexibility on Eurozone deficit targets." Phoenix LA Repubblica Italian election 2018. Luigi Di Maio called on the EU to be more flexible on the deficit targets. In 2017, Italy gave Brussels nearly €14.23 billion in exchange for €12.34 billion used to maintain the country's agriculture. In perfect sync with his party line, Mr. Di Maio is planning to run on a manifesto promising a swift reform of the overly bureaucratic Italian legislative system. The changes suggested include a renegotiation of Italy's relationship with the European Union, which is plagued with defects and in need of modernization, according to Mr. Di Maio. He said, "We want to change the EU. We want to modify a series of treaties, rules that don't work. The monetary union has many defects. Before letting Italians decide whether they want to add or not, we need to rectify these defects." In its first year, an M5S government will focus on EU negotiations to try to bring together all European leaders that have become critical of the rules of the game. Wednesday, February 28, 2018. Silvio Berlusconi's Forza Italy party is pro-European, but demands a greater role in the EU for Italy. "I don't think Italy has to pay more to Europe. I think the EU have to give more to Italy." Luigi Di Maio. Today, Italians will head to the polls to cast their ballots for the 945-member parliament. Between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. local time, 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, under Italian law, publishing opinion polls in the penultimate 2 weeks of the electoral campaign is outlawed, but the last batch of polls paints a pretty clear picture of how the vote will go down. Since the start of polling back in January 2018, the M5S has been a clear favorite to be the single biggest party in parliament, followed by the ruling Democratic Party (PD). A February 15 poll by Demopolis indicates a 28% vote for the M5S, a 22.5% vote for PD and 16.5% for the centre-right coalition led by former PM Silvio Berlusconi.